lashes
Do you want me to put
on.
your lashes on you?
Yes,
while we drive?
I do. At some point.
George's
Okay, so are we
hands-free.
recording? Are we
Yeah,
recording?
it's recording. Blooper number 1.
Here we go.
College football 2018 tour is about to begin. I am picking up my colleague, and it's a little surprise. We are meeting at a very classy spot because that's how we do it. So I'm here in the parking lot of Cracker Barrel. Hi!
Who you found? Look who dropped me off.
Hi! Dad dropped her off. Her dad dropped her off at Cracker Barrel.
Because I'm a child and my dad drops me
Your
off for
dad dropped her off for our
everything.
fall camp tour. All right, welcome. Let's go. Let's do it.
We did name it. It's called the Taylor Road Trip. I like that.
I like the Taylor Road
Right?
Trip. Welcome to the Taylor Road
Yeah.
Trip.
It's 3:11 and Clemson practice starts at 3:30.
4. We're gonna speed a little
We're
bit.
gonna speed a little bit. We're gonna be right on time.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go Tigers.
And when the Kardashians tell you anything, don't show people's license plates.
Oh, that is a theme. Can you back up? Back up into the sun.
Hi, welcome to in season, every season.
Look
Pause.
at the paw prints.
Paw prints.
We're getting close.
Oh yeah. Will they lead us to the stadium?
I think so. They stopped. Maybe we're going the wrong way.
Wait, let me check. Wait. Oh, whoops. We may have passed our.
We're going the wrong way.
We should have followed.
Literally
the paw
going the wrong way.
prints. Okay. Well, I got distracted by the paw prints. Tiger Stadium is on your right, Maria.
Hi, Tigers. I don't know what I was focusing on. Maria Taylor alongside
Holly Rowe.
And we are on our Taylor Road trip, which means we're hitting up 6 college football camps in 5 days, and they're all top 15. So we're kind of making it a big deal, but our first stop was Clemson, and they're ranked number 2 in the preseason poll, so we started off with a pretty good stop.
So we've already had a late flight,
Yep.
a car rental disaster, and a car accident on the road. Not us, but traffic. But we're here. And I think the thing that we took away from this, we've read every preseason publication. We've read it all. We're sick of all the hype. But coming away from practice, seeing it with my own eyes, we have very different takes on what we saw.
And I think one of the biggest takeaways was the wide receivers and the fact that there are a lot of playmakers and a lot of youth there, but Holly, it seems like a basketball team. I'm talking everyone's 6'4" across the line. Justin
know.
Ross, I know.
She should know. They're built like
6'4",
this.
they all look taller than me in their cleats, but they were going up, high pointing balls, making big plays.
So Justin Ross, he's a true freshman out of Phoenix City, Alabama. And, you know, we're coming in with the roster. We're trying to have a completely open mind, and we're like, OMG, who's this guy?
Yeah, where's your number?
So he made great plays. There's a lot of depth at wide receiver. I don't think I realized how deep they are. Yes, they're young. They're a little bit inexperienced, but that my takeaway today was look out, wide receiving core.
Okay, so obviously one of the huge storylines, if you're not talking defensive line, is quarterbacks. So, Holly, you're a tough cookie to crack. She does not like hype, and we know that Trevor Lawrence is coming in with a huge hype train behind him.
I really hate, like in my career, 20 years of doing this, I've read a lot of hype about kids, and then you see them in person and you're like, he's okay. So we get here today, and literally the first ball I saw Trevor Lawrence throw, I was like, oh, okay. The ball comes out of his hand just different. It is a pro level arm. It was really interesting to watch him. He had some success, but Kelly Bryant also had success. I see this as going to be maybe a hard decision. Maybe they figure out a way to use them both, but it's interesting because the kids are both very good in very different ways.
Yeah, and I love the way that we know they're going to push each other this entire season and throughout camp. And to really understand what's going on with the team, we're going to spend some time with some of the players. So we're going to get an actual heartbeat of Clemson football right now in August.
So we're here in the Clemson weight room. We're just snooping around behind the scenes, and we saw this. So best is the standard has been their theme forever.
Yeah.
And you only get to ring this bell if you have hit a personal best in the weight room. So have you hit a personal best today?
Yeah, I lifted this up. I actually didn't. It was really heavy.
So she's not hit a personal best.
Okay.
But
What's your
I
personal
just
best?
finished chemo yesterday, so I am going to ring the bell.
That's a bleep.
That was okay. I don't want them to get mad at me and be like, she can't ring the bell.
Who's going to say that when you finished chemo?
I think I deserve to ring the bell. So the other thing I've been impressed with here in the weight room, Maria, is 21 ways to be a great teammate. This keeps scrolling across. What do you think
Barely
about
see
number
her.
9?
never take a play off. You didn't do that one on the drive over here. She never took a play off. Eyes always on the road.
On the road. But I love this is because there's so much talent on this team. Keeping it together and being a great teammate, I think, is a key for Clemson this year. So I think we should get a list of the 21 ways. We'll post it on our website or our Twitter that we haven't made yet, but we will make so we can post stuff.
And I will say that this is one of the most competitive spring practices or fall camps that I've been around too.
There was a lot
fiercely
of competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot today. Holly Rowe, Maria Taylor. We are here on the Taylor road trip.
Yep.
And we have a very special guest. This is a running back who really splashed onto the scene last year, Travis Etienne. And I think people are expecting a lot of big things out of you this season. What are you expecting from yourself?
I mean, for me, the sky's the limit. I just have to focus on the little things and just come out here and get better every day, and just practice on my craft. Don't really worry about things beyond me, and just come out here and focus on myself. And I think that'll just put me in the position to be the best that I can be.
Okay, take us back to freshman year. First time you actually take the field. What's going through your mind now that you've had time to kind of reflect on it? And you're going your sophomore year, so it's going to feel completely different the first time you run up for the stadium.
Freshman year, actually, the first game, that was my first time actually at the game.
Oh, really?
So it was crazy, and then coach put me in the second quarter, and I'm just like, already? So like my first play, I jump off sides. I totally just.
Your first play?
It was horrible.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at you, but.
It was horrible, but coach called me on the telephone, just told me, just go out there and be myself, that just play football, it's just football at the end of the day. And then after that, I got my nerves up under me, scored my first touchdown of that game, and it just kind of took off after that.
That was good. So I just saw CJ Spiller at practice today, and it made me think of something. Is you guys have a loaded backfield this season, you, Tavian Feaster, but people are going to want to know who's starting and why. How do you keep the unit humble and working together and not worried about who's doing what? Because that's what CJ Spiller and James Davis did. And they had a lot of success in their career. The unit was good. How do you do that?
Well, like it's just the meeting room we have. The coach just bring us in together. Like we're like brothers, and we don't really care who who has the most yards that game. Long as everyone is just out there having fun. Like we just all cool with it, and we have that bond already. And I mean, like everybody wondering who's going to start, but like we don't care who starts. Like we all going to play, and we just have it set up that way so we're like we know we're at our best when we're subbing each other out, and we just keep that mentality.
The last question that I have for you is I just want you to describe your running style. For anyone who doesn't know Travis, they need to get to know him, obviously, because this is going to be a huge year for you, but explain to them what they'll see on the field.
I feel like my running style is just like a mixture of power and speed. I have the ability to make a move when I need to and be able to like run over a guy when I need to. It's just a mixture of knowing the quickest way to the end zone, I guess.
My last question kind of goes back to your first question is what do you know now that you didn't know then last season that you're like, I'm going to be better because I know this?
Just the mindset going into games and the mindset going into practice. I think your mindset has a lot to do with the way you perform. Like, because sometimes you go out there already defeated. That just makes your whole day bad. If you go out there with the right mindset and think you're going to win the day, you're going to have a great day. Give
me an example of your mindset. Like, what are some things you're saying to yourself or telling yourself as you take the field?
I just go out there and just give every play all I got, 100% every play. And even if I mess up going 100%. And that way, coach, like he always tells us, you can coach a guy, but you can't coach his effort. And I just feel like they really hit home with me. And for me to be the best I can be, I just have to give it all I got. Every play. All
right, you're going to be seeing max effort from this guy, Travis Etienne from Clemson. He's going to ball out in year 2. He'll be a sophomore, and apparently he's learned a lot from his freshman year. Thanks, Travis, for joining us.
No problem.
We're spending a little bit of time with a legend here at Clemson who you might also think, are you still in school? Like, are you a graduate student? Have you been here 6 years? No, Hunter Renfrow is in his senior season at Clemson. Obviously, you caught one of the biggest passes that we've ever seen in college football. But now going into your last year, I mean, when you first put on the pads for your first day of camp of the last season, what is going through your mind?
That I've been here forever. I feel like I've been here. I just met Sammy Watkins, his high school coach, and I came the year after Sammy. And Sammy seemed like he's been gone for a while, but no, just to have fun with my teammates. Just get out there and enjoy being around them. It's my last go around, and so just be in the moment and enjoy Coach Sweeney and all the coaches we have here and kind of the culture one last time.
One thing I liked is she talks about that was the biggest pass you've ever caught in, maybe in college football history, 1 second left, national championship against Alabama. But you followed it up with a 60 reception season last year, and you were a guy that was really hard to stop. So what are you going to add this year to your repertoire?
Just trying not to do too much, just being consistent, just being a guy that I can go make plays and open up more for my teammates on the outside. I know you'll just talk to Amari and guys like T, and we got a new freshman named Justin, and just all the receivers really. Just being a guy who can go out there and kind of take the pressure off them a little bit.
Okay, so you bring up Justin Ross. We saw him at practice today, and we're like,
Wait a minute.
So freshmen can't talk to the media, so we want the record to reflect that we are on Justin Ross before anyone.
Yeah,
dude is great, right?
Yeah.
What impresses you about him?
He's T. Higgins 2.0 in my opinion.
I like it.
He's a very talented receiver. Got good length, but really just has the brains to go with it. Like I said, he's number 1 recruit coming out of Alabama for a reason, and I think he's going to have a very special career here.
Tell us how this year's wide receiver room is different from just years past that you've been here at Clemson.
Just top down. I feel like every year it's like, all right, we lost Mike. All right, so this year we're going to be strength in numbers. And I just feel like every year, year in and year out, we just get more strength in numbers and just get more competitive depth down the line. 1 through 12 can go out there and make plays for us on Saturday.
I know that you and I have talked about this before, but just you've transformed your body. I want to remember it was 148 pounds, something crazy, because you'd been sick before you got here your freshman year.
Good memory.
Good memory, right? So you've gone from 148 to what are you the senior season?
I'm about 185.
Oh, so good.
Kind of playing the 180, so I think the big weigh-in I was about 184.6, so that rounds up to 185.
We're going to give him the 0.6 for sure. But you've had to work at this. You're a guy that wasn't maybe as highly recruited as some of the other guys you're playing with and against. So how have you crafted this career for yourself?
It's kind of what I talked about before, just being consistent, just having fun. I'm still the same guy who has fun going out there, whether it's Deshaun throwing or Kelly or Trevor or Chase Bryce. Just going out there and having fun, playing football. And that's kind of what it goes back to, playing in the backyard, having fun. And I feel like if I can do that, I can get better every day with it.
Awesome. Well, Hunter, congratulations on making it to your 12th year of college. We're excited to have covered you for all.
I thought it was
them.
17, but congratulations.
17 years.
You can see the hairline.
The hairline is going.
Get made fun of a little bit.
I mean, you said it, I did it.
As long as the productivity is strong, we don't care about the hair.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I get to introduce this next guest.
You introduced the last guest.
Oh, sorry. Only, and then you
go
can
ahead. Go ahead.
Fine. Okay,
Fine.
only because this is my first ever, and he's sick of hearing me say this, but my first ever father-son combo I've covered in college football. I did his dad's senior season. The first game, I'll never forget him running out of the tee against Wyoming. T's first game after he won the national championship his last season. So now I'm covering his son. That's really cool. That's Amari Rodgers. Okay.
Everyone.
Super long intro, sorry.
Yeah.
And now you can go.
Amari, of course, we come into Clemson's practice and we're like, oh, we got to check out the D-line and we got to look at quarterbacks. And we get here and we're like, wait a minute, this wide receivers room is also legit and the truth. And it looks like you're fielding a basketball team in one way, and then you've got experienced veterans like yourself in other ways. So when you go into the room every single day during camp, what do you see?
I see a bunch of experience, like you said. We had a lot of people, a lot of young guys last year that played a lot. Me, T, Cornell Powell, and we have experience too, like Travion and Hunter Renfrow. So we're just a veteran group that's disciplined, and we know what to do when we come out to play. So we're coming out in camp every day, trying to get better, and trying to show the world this season that we're still wide receiver.
Yeah, wide receiver.
There's a lot of hype around Clemson this year, but I just wonder what you see when you're out at practice and you're like, wow, this is going really good, or here's where we're going to be really good. What is it that you feel?
I feel that we're a mature team, that, we're not focused on, like, what people are saying outside. We're just focused on, like, what we want to do this year and accomplish, and, that's finished. So, every time when we get tired or, it's getting hard out there, we're just reminding ourselves of what we're trying to accomplish at the end of the season. And I know it's going to get hard. It's hot as heck outside, but we just got one goal in our mind. That's the national championship.
So he's like, we're a mature team, sophomore.
I know, right?
Sophomore.
Just so you know, the veteran leadership sits with us right now.
Yep.
You mentioned finish, so I'm sure you're talking about the way that the season ended in the college football playoff against Alabama. How much have you guys looked at that? Like, how much do you see that and kind of just use it as motivation at the end of the day to know that that's not where we want to end up?
Yeah, after season, I mean, we watched the game once, but we don't need to keep watching it to remember what happened. We got that in our mind, and we just that's enough motivation for us. So we always remember that, and I know I for sure always remember that because I was a freshman last year. I didn't get to play as much, but that's part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I have a bigger opportunity, a bigger role on the team, I'm making that important to me. And, I'm gonna push myself and my teammates so that we can go out there and finish it this year.
We were having a conversation in the car driving over here, and the question was, are they going to believe all their hype? Is this team going to be overconfident and not do all the little things? And I said to her, I won't forget the look on their face when Alabama was beating them in the Sugar Bowl. Like, I was there on the sideline, and I think your team really, that hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And that shocked you guys to perform like that in that game.
Yeah.
Does that keep you going?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it keeps us going. And last year we were underrated. Like, a lot of people overlooked us, and then we overplayed, and we did different things. But this year, everybody's expecting us to do better. So I think, like I said earlier, we're not paying attention. We're not being cocky or anything like that. We're just focused on right now in camp and trying to be the best that we can be. So when the season comes, we can go out there and do what we gotta do.
All right, we're asking this question to your teammates. I just want to know, when people turn on the television and they see you doing your thing, what kind of receiver can they expect to see?
I feel like since I'm a bigger receiver, I'm gonna be physical. I also got speed. Technique-wise, I'm good on details, and I feel like I guess I'm younger, so I guess I can do a little bit more. So I say I guess I can kind of do it all. I'm confident, and I'm also a good team player too.
Bigger?
He says he's bigger.
That's
but
what I was going to say.
I'm obsessed with this
height-wise.
because you're built like a running back.
Yeah.
When we talked about this the first time I ever met you, I was like, you're built like a running back, but you've been a wide receiver since almost the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why wide receiver?
My first 2 years of high school, actually, I played running back. And then I went actually out to a few camps in the summer for college, and I started to play receiver, and I was doing good, so I was like, why not just play receiver? And I started to gain weight a little bit, but that didn't change my mentality. It's a lot of bigger receivers out there. I think like Jarvis Landry and stuff. They're not weight-wise bigger, but they have a lot of muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So people like them motivate me. And like when people say like I'm big, like I should play running back and stuff, I'm like I'm still a wide receiver, and I look at people like that.
Because guess what you have?
Hands.
Good hands.
There you go.
Like really good hands.
And he can run, so if
Yeah.
you need him in
Yeah.
the backfield, he'll be there. Well, appreciate your time.
Okay,
Thanks for
appreciate
playing
y'all.
through.
Thank
Amari
you.
Rodgers.
Holly Rowe here with one of the famous defensive linemen for Clemson. I had to come up to their level.
Wow.
You don't like being called famous?
Not really.
You're on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Excuse me.
I know, but I'd just rather be Austin.
So we want to get to that. So we were reading the Sports Illustrated
Mm-hmm.
article, which we're going to check on this. We're not sure a defensive line has ever been featured on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
But you said, I'm sick of it already. There's so much hype around you guys this season. How are you approaching every day of not feeding into that hype and producing?
I think a lot of people kind of get excited because, they see 4 guys that had the potential to leave and came back and had good years last year. But at the end of the day, I think all 4 of us and the rest of our D-line and the coaches, we're realists. We still have to go out there every day and prove it. We've got to practice like every day can be our last day playing this game. And I think that's what makes the group so special that a lot of people don't understand that dynamic. So it's just special to come to work with guys like that kind of don't care about all the outside stuff and just care about playing football. And I think that's what will continue to carry us this season and kind of keep the hype to a minimum.
Mm-hmm. Well, the numbers obviously speak for themselves. We were looking at those too. 109 tackles for loss, 46 sacks a season ago, obviously leading the ACC in both categories. What are you guys doing in the offseason to get better? I mean, how do we get to 120 tackles for loss or make it 50 sacks? What is going to be different about
That
this
makes me
D-line?
sore.
I know. I feel bad for every quarterback we play this season.
I think it just comes down to being consistent every day in your work. This is kind of like our profession right now. All we do is football and go to school. So every day I think we approach it with great consistency and great effort every day. That's the hardest part. It's easy to come in here on the first day of workouts and have all the energy and the intensity. It's when you're on a workout number 35 in the summer and it's 100 degrees outside is when that intensity and that energy needs to show through. And I think that's the off season that we've had every day. Whether it's one guy leading the pack or another guy leading the pack, we all been right there with great energy leading the team. And just bringing everything we got every day because, the next day is not promised.
Mm-hmm.
everybody understands that.
So when we walked out of practice today, we both commented that the energy, there is some special energy behind this defense. I mean, you guys are sacking both quarterbacks, making plays out there, and the whole defense is feeding off of it. And
On the sidelines, like coming onto the field.
It felt big out there today.
Yeah. Do you guys do that on purpose? Is that something that you work? I mean, how do you even create that kind of energy and maintain it?
I think a lot of that goes back to the coaches is bringing in the right people that, you know, that they just aren't going out getting the most hyped up players. They're going to get guys that really love football and love to do it every day. And I think we have a group that loves football and loves to do it every day, loves to be coached, loves to work, loves to be together. That's the great thing about this team. We love to be together, and we have great chemistry. So that's something that makes us really special, and everybody kind of feeds off of it when one person makes a play.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of chemistry, there may or may not have been some fights. I mean, let's just be honest.
It's part
the
of chemistry.
offensive line and the defensive line were getting after it today, right?
Right,
so take me into these moments of, like, I personally love that because it means you're competing and you guys care. Like, how do you look at that?
I think when you have a group of guys that are really highly competitive, I think it's just a matter of time before sparks fly. And that's what happened today. We definitely should have been more disciplined in certain situations, but I think that's just what happens when you have a highly competitive individuals that don't want to lose and don't want to let the next guy get the better of them. That just kind of happens, and we paid the price for it today.
So do you guys just sit down and have steak together? Like, are you just going off to the O-line, like, hey, what's up, though?
Yeah, after practice, it's all good. You know, we're friends, it's forgotten, but when we step in between the lines, don't think I don't forget what you did yesterday.
Coach made both the offensive and defensive teams run extra sprints today, so we left before he made us run.
We came to the weight room. We started
we're
with
out.
weights.
Yeah, I feel you. I
to
did
get strong.
the same thing.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, one more thing. Can you give me, you have to make it up on the spot. Good luck. A nickname for everyone on the D-line. For the starters on the D-line, give their
They
name
have them, right?
and a nickname.
Well, yeah, everybody got a nickname.
They got
all right.
them.
Make up a new one.
A
It's
new
a new
one?
season. We're trying to get 120
A
tackles
new-
for loss.
a
We're
new-
moving
a
on.
new
We're
nickname?
moving on, Austin.
All right, one that some people call Dex Sexy Dexy. You know.
Okay.
See?
Okay.
Lexi is here.
And then we got Clee Missile. He think he a missile, you know what I'm saying, coming out the
heat-seeking.
edge.
I
Yeah,
like
heat
that.
seeking missile. So that's Clee Missile. Then you got Christian. We call him C-Dub, Dub. You know, I like to call him Dub. And then me, you know, everybody call me AB, or they call me Big B.
I like
about
Big
it.
I like
B.
Big
Yeah,
B.
Big
Let's go with
B.
Big B.
Yeah.
Because, you know.
Yeah. Can you get down for a second?
I don't
let's-
think I can.
come on, we'll help you,
Oh
we'll
my
help you.
gosh,
Come
this
on.
is an injury. Waiting. Oh, hi. Hi.
All right, now this works, right?
Big M, Big B. Little me. Holly Rowe, Maria Taylor.
What's up?
Our road trip continues.
It does.
Taylor and road trip.
They're getting sick of us.
Sexy Dexy.
Hey.
So we got a new nickname.
You gotta do a shimmy or something. When someone says that, hey.
You got to be sexy when they say that. So what is sexy about this team? We're hearing a lot of hype about the D-line, but what is inside the group that is special that you're holding on to?
Just a lot of maturity and experience, you know. A lot of these guys got a lot of reps under their belt, in-game reps under their belt. So it's just, I mean, you can't beat that, you know. We have, like, what coach said, like, almost 40 years or something like that.
I think it was
And
26,
so,
I read.
yeah,
but-
like scholarship or whatever, like, and about 40 juniors. Like, it's just crazy how much of experience that we have, and that's what makes us smooth in practice, you know. A lot of us understand the playbook already, so we, you know, practice is running smooth. You're not seeing too many MEs or misalignments, things like that. So, I mean, that's what makes us sexy. We're fluent.
Walk me through kind of the evolution, too, of Clemson football since you've been here, because I'm sure the rooms change, practices have changed, just the mentality over time changes when you add in national championships and you're going to 3 college football playoffs and you're winning 3 straight ACC championships.
So my freshman year, I'm gonna start there. My freshman year, you know, everybody came back hungry. I came in mid-year, so I kind of saw in January that everybody came back hungry. You know, hitting the weights hard in the winter. You know, running the sprints hard. I'm like, I need to keep up. Like, I need to keep, like, that's kind of how they motivated me to, like, stay competitive with them, like, keep up with them in the sprints, you know, in the weight room and little things like that. So, and then my freshman year, we won the national championship. So I was like, okay, so this how it has to be. Like, we got to stay hungry. We got to keep getting out there. So my sophomore year come around, and it didn't change. Like, all the guys stay hungry. You know, we had a lot of guys leave, but it didn't drop. You know, everybody stayed hungry. Nobody wanted to see us win. Nobody like nobody picked us to win, but we stay hungry, and that's kind of how it's evolved to now. You know, we got a new facility, so everybody's like, oh, we can't let this go to waste. Like a lot of schools don't have this, so we kind of just.
You might as well show him. You might as well come. You know what? Now you're in the video. Come on.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But, you know, we talk about that. Like, I can tell you all day long that I'm going to work hard and I really want to win a national championship this year. I want to know, what are you doing every day that's unique? Give me an idea of your day getting up. What's important?
First of all, I'm taking care of my body. That's the most important thing, you know, because, you know, we year round. It's nonstop. You always putting punishment on your body, running, lifting, all of that. So I'm in the treatment room, training room every day, twice a day. You know, just kind of do prehab, so I don't have to do rehab. And that's kind of how it's been ever since my freshman year. You know, dealing with those injuries my sophomore year as well. So I just kind of live in there. I got my little pillow. I got my little own table in there that I set up, and you know, I just. That's just how I stay prepared.
A little home away from home.
Yeah,
You got there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, since one of the storylines coming into, we have a defensive lineman here. He's answering those storyline questions. Quarterbacks are another question, and since he inserted himself into the conversation,
Hi, Mom.
walk us through what you've been seeing from Kelly B and Trevor Lawrence.
Oh my goodness, so competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like no other. They both, you know, getting those attack reps.
He's just over here cracking him up.
No, but
Attack reps.
Attack
So
reps,
serious
there you go.
stuff.
Yeah. You know, they both competing against each other, and you know, they both got the ability to scramble out the pocket, stay in the pocket, throw the deep balls, throw the short routes, and it's just unbelievable. Like I wouldn't be able to, you know, tell who's gonna do what, or you know, but that's what you want to see out of every position, not just quarterback's position. Even with the D-line, the second groups, the third groups, going at it, you know, getting out there. It's ridiculous. It's crazy how much depth we can have.
That's what I want to ask you. So, you know, the front four are getting a lot of attention.
Right.
Yeah.
Who are the backup guys to you that you're like, these guys should be getting some attention?
Definitely Jordan, Albert, and Uncle Darnese. We call him Uncle Darnese because he looked about 40.
Okay.
But he's only 19.
Grown man.
Yes,
Can't wait to meet Uncle Darnese.
Yes. Just all those guys. You just see, so they all been here since spring. You can just see Uncle Darnese, he's a freshman. So you just see how much he improves from the spring and his summer reps and his fall reps, like sprints. Like his conditioning is crazy, and his hands are crazy, like better than my hands when I first got here.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So like, and that's just, and Jordan with his run blocking, it's all just, you know, it's just looking good and really confident in our run.
Okay, so I want you to take us out of this interview right into the camera with, since you had good hands, give me your best move.
And then, come on.
Mine would be like a swim.
Like,
See
how was ours looking?
See, what I got is like a club,
Oh,
over, swim, and then rip. There you
Wait,
go. So it's like this.
Again. Walk through it again.
I got it.
Did we
Like
do it?
karate, Boom,
Wait, boom.
Boom,
boom,
boom, boom.
boom. Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
Kiki, do
But
you love me?
yeah.
Are you riding?
It's just like
Are
this. There
you
you go.
killing the offensive line?
I like it.
Are you rolling?
I like it. It's just like dancing.
I like it.
D-line just like dancing.
That's why they be smart.
Very smooth. It's just like dancing.
Okay,
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
We're
Thank
good.
you.
He's like, let's go. Let's wrap it up.
Thank
Okay,
you, thank
sorry.
you.
Bye.
Hey, it's Maria Taylor and Holly Rowe, and my best friend. She always tries to claim somebody. It's me, Kelly B, Kelly Bryant.
I will give it up on this. I think you two have good chemistry. I feel it. I see it.
It's kind of a thing. I don't know. So Kelly, we are in practice 4 of camp, right?
That's right.
So walk me through almost kind of like the expectations that you have for yourself entering camp and the things that you're just trying to show and prove as you play.
I think you know, going into the preseason, you know, we wrote down some goals, and just for me, it's just compete, you know, each and every day. Just find one thing to get better at, you know, whether it's on the field or off the field, and just never just stay complacent, you know, never get too high, get too low, and just just continue to bring the energy, just step outside of my comfort zone, you know, just challenge myself, you know, be more vocal and be that guy, you know, that all the guys can look to and rally behind. So that's just been, you know, my goals going into camp and just trying to continue to challenge myself.
I feel like there's a narrative around you in a weird way, like, oh, you're never going to be Deshaun Watson, and then you come out and you perform great last season, and now you've got a freshman hot on your heels. Oh, he's never going to be this good. How do you absorb all this outside narrative, but just be like, no, I'm good at what I'm good at? How do you manage it all?
I just try not to, you know, focus too much on that, because I feel like, you know, what I do, you know, is enough, you know, to get the job done. Of course, you know, I'm always constantly finding ways to improve. You know, but I just try not to use it, you know, as a bad thing, try to live it the right way, and just, you know, put it behind me and just go to work, you know, just have that blue collar mentality.
I feel like a lot of kids say that, but you've actually been able to do it. You know what I mean?
You've
actually been able to manage that. So almost like if you were giving advice to a younger kid or something that might be stepping into your shoes or a similar situation, almost like what would you tell them?
I mean, that's what I've been preaching. Just, you know, be yourself. You know, the platform that, you know, I'm at, you know, just being in a program like Clemson, you know, you have a lot of young guys, you know, just not guys, just people in general, just, you know, always, you know, constantly feeling like they're not enough, you know, what they do, you know, it's not enough. You always got to feel they got to be somebody. But, you know, it's something I always, you know, felt like, you know, I'm more than enough. You know, a lot of people may say that I'm not enough and I can't do this, but, you know, if you continue to work, you know, you just use that, like I said, just challenge it the right way and motivate it. You'll be able to do whatever you want to do.
So I have this lasting memory. Last year, doing the Sugar Bowl, Alabama, things didn't go great for you guys offensively. I want to know what you've looked at and taught yourself from that moment in that game that you're going to be better moving forward to this season.
Oh man, just, you know, have a game like that, you know, it come down to a few short plays, you know, just looking back on it, you know, coach, you know, he sat us in the team meeting room, just showed us how the difference is a couple of plays, you know, could change the ball game, and just playing in the moment and just playing every play like it's your last, because, you know, you always hear it, but when you actually in a situation like that, in a big game like that, and then you look back on it and be like, dang, if I would have did this, you know, if it went, you know, another way, then it could have possibly changed the outcome. So just making sure that I'm just zoned in, you know, every time, you know, I step inside a meeting room, I step inside this weight room, and wherever I am, just making sure that I'm getting the most out of it.
People never talk about this in that game. It just made me think about when you said that, is field position. You guys had the worst field position in the history of a bowl game. J.K. Scott was a weapon for Alabama, so I'm sorry, that just popped. Random thought. No one ever gives them credit, but you guys had your backs against the wall the whole game because your field position wasn't great. So there we go. Sorry.
All right, random thought too. Since we'll never actually get to hear from Trevor Lawrence because he's a freshman, walk us through maybe what the quarterback's room is like, what his personality is like, and what you've seen from him through camp and the first 4 practices.
Oh, you know, we call him Sunshine.
Yeah.
You know, he got the hair, You know, he's been a real good guy. He's a quick learner, and, you know, you see that, you know, being in the meeting room, but he's been a really good guy, you know, off the field as well. He's a guy you can hang around, you know, talk to. We crack jokes on each other. And that's pretty much been the chemistry in the whole quarterback room. You know, got guys like Chase Bryce, you know, Ben Batson just stepping in. And so just having those guys, you know, have that competitive spirit, you know, on the field, and then also you can get all the feelings, pretty much best buds, you know, off of it. So, you know, it's good to have those guys in the meeting room with you.
So we went all this time, when we got to practice, we thought we knew the storylines.
We did, we thought.
And then we stepped off the practice field like, OMG, these wide receivers.
Everything.
So what are people sleeping on with your wide receiver core?
We deep. Of course, you know, everybody talk about wide receiver you, but when you really look at all the guys, you know, across the board, you know, a lot of guys that now has a lot of experience, you know, played in the big games, you know, they're hungry. You know, you can see that confidence out here on the practice field, but you know, all summer long, you know, I've been in here, you know, seeing those guys working in the weight room, you know, when we're doing player-led practices, and you can see it, you know, those guys ready, you know, step into their role.
I said it's like a basketball team rolling out there, 6'4", 6'4", 6'4", 6'4", go up and get the ball.
Guys,
like, just throw it somewhere, they're going to go get it.
They'll make a play for you. It's good to have, you know, look out there and see you got those guys like that.
Okay.
Thank y'all. I appreciate it.
It's me, Kelly B. He hung out. He only interrupted one interview, but he did do his actual interview. Good job.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Okay, so Holly Rowe, Maria Taylor,
Christian.
and
still here.
I think it's fair to say our favorite ever.
Yeah.
Is that bad to
They're
say?
my favorite too. You guys come with it.
Yeah.
Like you have
Maybe you should introduce us.
Right.
I've covered 20 years, long time.
Yeah.
My favorite personality, because you're fun. Like when you play, I have fun watching you have fun. Where does this joyfulness come from in you playing?
I appreciate that. Thank you, and thanks for noticing.
Yeah.
No, just really, it just comes for the love of the game. I really do love this game. This is an incredible game. The team sport, just everything that comes with it, just really means a lot to me. And I try to, share my joy with my teammates. Because I really just have fun while I'm doing it. It's just something that I've always done. Ever since I was a little kid, I can remember getting excited after plays or after I do my job, or getting excited for someone else doing their job. Because I want all my brothers to do the best, and I want to do my best. And when you can see it all coming to fruition with everyone, all the things we learned and that we're taught, and just everybody's doing the right things, you just get excited about it. So I definitely like to have fun.
I wanted to put like a tracker on him or telestrate, so when the offense scores, wherever he is on the field,
Just
he runs all the way
him.
down to the end zone, all the way back. Like no one runs more than him from the D-line in a game.
Okay, I feel like before we even get to X's and O's, I read an article about you being a substitute teacher, and so in my mind, I'm just need the breakdown of how that happened and how often you actually get to do it.
Mr. Wilkins, that's right.
Yes.
So two of my brothers have taught before. One of them was a sub, and one of them was a full-time teacher. And in the spring and everything, I already have my degree and everything. So in the spring, I had a lot more free time on my hand because all my master's online classes are online, but they're online. So I'm like, dang, what am I gonna do all day? Like, everyone like on our off days even, we have workouts or something. But I'm just like, man, what can I do? And I need a little bit more extra money, on the side and everything like that. So I'm like, what can I do that could be, a good little side hustle, where it's into something I'm good at too. And so I'm like, maybe I could teach or whatever. So I look to my brothers. I'm like, what do I have to do to get into it? They told me you got to go to the district office, talk, get an interview, all that stuff. So I did that, had the interview process, and who's gonna turn me down for a job? You know what I'm saying? I did my thing. I kept dust that off. Yeah, get that done. Killed the interview process. So I had fun. And then did that. Got the job, and then so all spring I did some substituting. So I've done it about 10 to 15 times.
What grade level? Like at what age?
So I wasn't messing with middle school. That was a no-no. That wasn't gonna happen. They think that they at that weird age where it's like and I wanted to keep my job. I didn't want to but definitely did elementary school and high school. Did kindergarten and pre-K a lot more than anything. And
were the kids scared of you?
Oh no, they love me. They couldn't believe it. They look at you. I felt like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Kindergarten Cop. No, seriously, like I'd be in there, they'd be all running up to you. Oh, Mr. Just like a bunch of them. It was like scared I'm gonna fall and squash one of them or something. But
so when your footwork is better this season on the defensive line, it's because he's
right,
been dodging
bobbing and weaving the kids. Yeah. But no, that was such a great experience. Just teaching them. I learned a lot more from them than they probably learned from me. I mean, that's
like what'd you learn? Give me one thing.
Just like I don't know, just how tender kids are and like how much of an impression you leave on them and how much that you mean to them, but they meant a lot to me just having that experience and those interactions for sure. So it's been great.
I'm all choked up.
Okay, it's going to be hard to transition back to football. Let's have one question about the D-line.
All right.
46 sacks last season. How do we get to 50 this year?
How do we get to 50? Just focus on the little things. It's all about the details and, and just competing and making sure we apply those details in practice. It all starts in practice. We all practice hard, but, I'm sure there's areas we can grow in. So, just watching what we did good last year, watching what we did bad, and applying it, to this season for sure.
Can you do like the Sports Illustrated pose that you did for the magazine? Just show it to us. What were you doing?
So I was just just looking down. I have my mean mug. I have my game face on.
Do you have a mean mug? You're so sweet.
My game. See, that's the thing. On the field, that's when the mean mug comes out a little bit. That's when the dark side, Christian comes out. Girl, the big angry Christian.
Okay. All right.
I feel good about it. I don't have anything else for Christian other than he's an awesome person that substitute teaches and has a mean mug that we've never seen.
You've never seen. Yeah. But if you lined up across from me, then you'd see it maybe. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, thanks. Have a great season.
Yes, thank you.
Best
Appreciate
wishes.
y'all.
Coach, we're here at dinner with the team. Thank you for having us so much today.
Yes.
We had a name for our show, but we think maybe you just came up with a better one. What do you think?
First of all, really high-tech camera that you have here. Just cell phone. I think you've got, looks like Wonder Woman is your little pop-out thing on your phone there. So
try not to giggle and shake the phone.
This is awesome, but I was just saying that. Y'all are like two road dogs, just the two of y'all be bopping around the country, and you're Holly Rowe, she's the dog, so Road Dog. The Road Dog.
Georgia Road Dog. Are you? Is that a thumbs up or a thumbs?
I'm gonna go with Taylor Road.
The Road Dog.
All right,
Road
Coach.
Dog.
Thanks for the name and thanks for the great access today. We appreciate you. Thank
Did
you.
y'all go down the slide?
We'll go. We'll get it. We're going. We'll go. All right. What? Say that part again. Okay. The philosophy of the slide is.
Well, it's impossible once you go down the slide to not be happier than you were the previous 3 seconds. I mean, and then look, you just go down and you got great momentum right out to practice. So you just hit it, you know.
Just hit it. I am happier, Coach. I am.
You have to smile. You have to be happy.
Oh, what is happening? What just happened?
See, look how happy.
3 seconds before.
That was a life-changing moment.
My shoes.
Stop here. All right. We've got 20 minutes to make this flight.
We're gonna do it. Let's go.
20 minutes.
Go. But what just happened? We just sprinted through entire Charlotte Airport. You were a little shiny. We made it.
More than my normal shine.
Miami, here we come.